Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my listeners, my regular listeners, all those who have subscribed to my channel, my students all over Ghana and beyond, especially those who are in the university and those who are the colleges of education within Ghana and outside Ghana who you've been listening to my lecture all these years. You've been giving me comments, give me guidelines, give me suggestions as to how best we can make this course and this video lecture a very interesting one. And in fact, as it is changing a lot of lives, a lot of students are hooked up to it. And I want to thank you all for their daily contributions to the success of this video lecture. Again, today we'll be looking at the introduction to guidance and counseling in education. As individuals going through training to become teachers, to become trainers of people, or being individuals who are going to mold the brains, the future generation of our country, of this world, we indeed need to understand that life in general needs a lot of guidance. All human beings need guidance. All of us, one way or the other, may lack certain things and will need assistance. I always say this, that look, it doesn't matter how good you are as a teacher, how eloquent you are as a teacher, how well you prepare your lessons as a teacher. It is always important to understand what state of mind is your student. Your student before you, if it is one person before you that you are guiding, you need to be sure of what you are doing. The way you are presenting the information to the child, is that appropriate way? Is it helping the child? Do we know the state of mind of our students when we are teaching them? So we always have to pay attention to this aspect, this emotional aspect of the student, this psychological aspect of the student. That is the only way whatever we teach our students, they will understand. And how do we address this? That is where the concept of guidance and counseling comes in. And my name is Fikos JC, a licensed counseling psychologist in Ghana. And popularly, people call my client, mostly called me Counselor Ficos. And my contact is there. If you need personal counseling for anything that you want an assistant, especially in the areas of depression, anxiety, suicidality, and as well as school counseling program, please do not hesitate to contact me. And on this very course, I also try to come up with a material, a comprehensive material indeed, which most of my students call it a working guidance book. So it's like you carry it along, it gives you, it's a comprehensive information as far as school guidance is concerned. So whether you are the colleges of education or you are the university, whichever level that you are and you are studying a program to become a teacher, this comprehensive book will be of a great assistance to you. Having said that, I want us to look at our first unit that I want us to look at today. And basically, the first unit will tell us where we are coming from. The entire issue of guidance and counseling till today, how does it start? What happened? Who were the founding fathers of the guidance and counseling movement? Till today, we preach the guidance and counseling movement concept to our students. And that is why I've taken the pain to prepare this video lecture to assist you wherever you are. You may not get that extreme opportunity to be under a professional practitioner like some of us, but this video will help you. This video will help you to gain or hear from the expert as far as those who are into counseling psychology is concerned. So I want us to look at the historical foundation of guidance and counseling. And in this sense, because I am in Ghana and I have a lot of students in Ghana and I have some students at the international level, we'll be looking at this history based on the global level, at the international level, then a portion of the history will also be narrowed down to that of Ghana. Good. Now, at the international level, the whole guidance and counseling movement was about helping people to develop career. First of all, they should select a career, because the entire guidance and counseling movement believes in helping people to have sound mind, being able to make decisions for themselves, being able to take a kind of action that at the end of the day they'll be happy with. And generally, it is what we do, what brings us income is key. If people are not working in a country where there is high level of unemployment, in a community where there is high level of unemployment, there is the likelihood that certain deviant behaviors will start emerging. You see the youth rioting, indulging in behaviors that society does not accept. But once these individuals are all engaged, they are working, these individuals find something doing. I think there's a saying that even said that the idle hand, the devil find job for idle hand. So the guidance and counseling movement started at a point when the whole world came to a point that there's the need to go very industrial. And this industrialization took place in the big cities in Europe and America, where people in the rural or people at the places that there are no job, they don't have the industries there, they need to move to the cities. They need to migrate from wherever they are to the city. That means that the concept of migration did not even start today. It started years ago, about 1800. So people were moving, and what was not good enough as far as this movement is concerned is that you realize that most of these individuals were children, underage kids, and they were working under certain bad working environment. Some of them were engaged in mining, others were engaged in hard labor, others were engaged in factory work. You realize that these kids were going through certain working environment that was unbearable, that seems to be putting so much pressure on them, that has affected their psychic, it has affected their emotions. But the question is that why are they going through that kind of pain? Why are those kids going through that? Why are the adults going through these difficulties when they know very well that the working environment is not conducive? Because they want to earn a living. That is it. So society came to that point, and therefore there was the need to assist individuals. How do we reduce this pressure on people? How do we assist individuals to get jobs that will help them, that will be happy of? How do we help people to understand their working environment? So some individuals came together to form what we call the guidance movement. What are they trying to do? They are supposed to help men and women, help individuals to be able to make a kind of decent life, have decent life that is less these emotional stresses and psychological distresses. One of such individuals who contributed so much to the movement of guidance and counseling globally is Plato. Plato happens to add to a lot of things as far as this concept of guidance is concerned. Now, he believed that there's the need for us to have what we call an ideal society. So he wrote a book entitled An Ideal Society. And this ideal society concept, what is it all about? He believed that before people can go into a job, before they will select a job, which would say that technically, before they will select a career, they need to understand the career that they are selecting and make sure the career fits their personality. Or, in other words, when people are going to be assigned job or responsibility, either at a factory, at any organization, it is important for the person to be assisted to select a job, a work that matches up with his personality. And Plato believed that once this is done properly, we are likely to have an ideal society, a society that wouldn't be strife because the individual is satisfied with the job internally and externally. Then Jesse also was another person who also greatly contributed to the guidance and counseling movement. He took it upon himself at that time to help the younger generation, boys and girls. What is it to do? He provided them enough career guidance, or what we call vocational counseling, in the sense that it helped them to understand why they need to select a kind of career, a career that would assist them, a career that will make them satisfied within and externally. So he promoted, apart from the vocational guidance movement that he supported by helping the young ones, he devoted a lot of time on the younger ones because he believed that society belongs to the younger one. And therefore, if the younger ones are assisted to select a career that is appropriate, a career that they are comfortable with, a career that they can do, they can get their best from, at the end of the day, society will be peaceful. Apart from that, he said that once the individual is working, then the individual must put up a good moral style. So he also added moral guidance just to help the younger one build good moral. Another person is Frank Parson. Parson, literature says that as far as literature on career guidance says that he is the father of vocational guidance. It is as a result of his immense contributions that he made as far as guidance and counseling movement is concerned, or as far as career guidance is concerned. He continued to set up a bureau, a vocational bureau. This vocational bureau was aimed at, first of all, before somebody would select a program, let's take it that within our context, someone is at the high school, or before the individual gets to the high school, what it means is that there are procedures that the individual will need to be carried through to even select a program. For example, in Ghana, typically in Ghana, where we have what we call the JHS, the junior high school, that's where the individual will select a program that he or she is going to pursue at the high school. Based on the concept of Frank Parson, he believes that at that level, there should be enough career guidance to the person. Because the moment the individual moves to this high school level, he picks a program, and that program automatically will land the person into certain career. Presumably, that's how it's supposed to be. And therefore, it's always important to support the individual at that level. He said that once the individual is selecting a career, Frank Parson believed that it is always important. Let us assess the individual. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses of the person? Which area can the person perform very well? Many people, many adults today are working in an environment where they pay them so much, but they are not satisfied with the job. So it implies that it is all job satisfaction. It is all not about how much you are being paid, but key among them is the fact that whether the job that you've selected, the career that you've selected, is it in line? Does it matches up with your personality? Does it fit who you are? Does it fit your makeup? This is very important. So that we don't just get up and select career. And we teachers, we are supposed to help our students. In fact, that is why you are learning this course. We are supposed to help our students, guide them in this direction, assist them to select a career that matches up with their personality, that they will be satisfied with in future. So again, Parson came out with one of his major jobs has happened to be that model. He developed a model that will guide people in selecting a vocation. Another person who contributed so much is Williamson. Williamson did a lot of job as well. He also entered more into career guidance because, as I said earlier, all the personalities who contributed massively at the early stage of guidance and counseling movement believes that for us to have a sound society, people need to get job to do. People who complete school must get job to do, and therefore their focus mainly was helping people to develop careers, helping people to get good job to do. So he started by providing counseling to students. So Williamson believed that once the students have come to school and they are in our hands, and he believes that the teacher is an expert full of wisdom. And once you are full of wisdom and the students have come to us, then we are supposed to translate that wisdom to them. So he's noted as the father of directive counseling. Williamson is noted as what? The father of directive counseling. What does it mean? He believes that once the individual has come to you as a teacher, once the individual has come to you or the client has come to you as a counselor, you are an expert. And therefore, the individual who is before you is vulnerable. So you would need to direct the person as to what he or she would do to achieve the kind of result that he or she wishes for. So it's more of directional. It gives you directive. Do this, don't do that. That is why in one of his books, he came out with what we call the sequential steps in providing career guidance, where he believes it talks about analysis, synthesis, diagnosis, prognosis, and what we call counseling itself, then follow up. So he gave these key steps. Williamson gave these key steps. That is the steps, as I said again: analysis, synthesis, diagnosis, prognosis, counseling, and follow up. What does this basically mean in terms of career guidance? We have a lot of jobs in our community, in our country, in our society. He believes that the first thing we should do as teachers who are about to help the younger ones select career is to understand what kind of jobs that are available to us, available in the community, available in the society, available in the country, and available in the world. Then bring them together and group them into certain category. For example, those that are under health, those that are under medicine, those that are under engineering, those that are under different grouping. Then assist the individual, help that individual to understand himself and her world. Very important. Through that, you can provide a better counseling for the individual to make the selection. And when the individual make the selection, after all, or the counseling is given to the individual, then there will be the need to follow up whether the person is faring well, whether the person is doing well based on the counseling that has been provided. Another great person, as far as the history of guidance and counseling is concerned, that you cannot ignore him, is Carl Rogers. Rogers wrote a lot of books. He published a lot of books as far as counseling and psychotherapy is concerned. Unlike Williamson, who believes that the individual is vulnerable and therefore we need to provide him or her directive counseling, Carl Rogers says no. He believes that the individual is unique. The individual has a lot of potentials, and therefore there will be the need to give the person what we call non-directive. So Carl Rogers preached the gospel of non-directive counseling. And what is about this non-directive counseling? He believes that this non-directive, which is also known as client-centered counseling or person-centered counseling, just as we were taught in our teaching method lectures, that we have different teaching methods. And today, what literature is proposing to all teachers to adhere to is the student-centered teaching method. Why? Because there is this strong belief that once the right environment is provided to the child or to the learner, that individual is capable of enhancing his or her ability. Once in a counseling setting, Carl Rogers believed that counselors should pay enough attention to the kind of interaction that goes on in the counseling. What is the client saying? What is the feeling? How is the client analyzing things? Counselors should pick it from there. Counselors should not only be interested in directing clients, no, because clients, they have a lot to do for themselves, therefore they need to be assisted to more or less assist themselves. And there should be that mutual respect in the course of the counseling session, so that the individual can bring out the best out of himself or herself. Others, as far as career guidance is concerned, we cannot forget about Gisberg, we cannot forget about Anro, we cannot forget about Donald, we cannot. These are individuals who have also done some work, some major work in career guidance. And today, those who are going through counseling, career guidance program, those who are going to counseling program, are carried through some of the theories. We study them as far as the career theories are concerned. What are some of the major development or contribution in general as far as the early part of guidance and counseling movement is concerned? In 1910, that was when the first national conference on vocational guidance was held, and this was held in Boston. Very important history. Apart from what individual experts were doing at that time, right from Plato to the current people like Anro, Gisberg and school have done as far as career guidance is concerned, there was the need for them to come together. All these experts must come together with all the new ones, individual counselors who are there, to come together, to have a common platform, to have a common voice. In unity there is strength. There's so much strength in unity. So as they come together through their conference, they are able to strategize how to influence the entire world positively, because their means of influencing is to help people live that kind of independent life, enter careers of their choice, so that there wouldn't be any massive unemployment challenges, or there wouldn't be people working and still not comfortable with the kind of job they do. And the second conference was held in New York. That was 2 years after. That was 1912. And the third one was also held in 1913. So it continues to today. And this movement has also, we have different groups now: counseling psychology association, conferences for counseling psychologists. We have conferences for people in different categories. Why? Because of the good job that were done by these great men and women at that time to support the guidance and counseling movement. I want to say that the brief history, global history, which is our first part, we just look at the global history. As far as the global history is concerned, the guidance and counseling movement all was all about career issue, career guidance. It was mostly on career guidance, notwithstanding there were few guidance with regards to moral issues, but the focus was on career guidance. This is because society is after job. The young is after job. The future is about job. It's about how people can earn meet, they can make living, very important. So it is important for us to note that this movement globally started all in the name of making life more comfortable for people, making people understand that life is great and therefore there's the need to build their career. I want to say thank you once again. And as I said earlier in my earlier introduction, my name is Ficus JC. Ficus JC is a licensed counseling psychologist practicing in Ghana and a lecturer as well at Amstead, formerly University of Education, Winneba, Kumasi campus. If you anything regarding to counseling, please my contact is there. Give me a call. Thank you.